So here we go. This is it. The new chapter in the Rekieta question. We now have the Imholte offensive, just like the Brusilov offensive. We now have the Imholte offensive. Is it as good as Brusilov's offensive? No. Is this going to be Operation Bagration? No. Although we could call it Operation Bagration with these guys, or Operation Baltogrion. But no, it's nothing like that, chat. It is not that good. They are having a slap fight. It's just the Coom wars, the Coom campaign, if you will, of this whole situation. So, anyways, Aaron's stuff got kicked out to October, the day before Diddy, actually. And in the meantime, last week, Nick got served with just, here's the thing. I honestly didn't think this was going to happen, but it did. It did. A harassment restraining order, an HRO. We don't have this kind of crap in Ohio. If you go and cry to the court, these guys are harassing me, you know what the court's going to say? Quit being a bitch. But this is all the paperwork. So I'm sure you know, guys, this courtesy MN Public Records. This is the funny part here. This is a certificate of process for it. And they tried to, so on the 27th of June, at the house in the city of Wilmore, 2201 23rd Street. Now, you think, wait, that's not Nick's address. You're like, wait, hold on. I want to know where that's at. Well, where do you think that is, chat? On the map. The Candioi County Sheriff's Office. Wait, so Nick had to go to the sheriff's office to get the restraint, the harassment order? Yes. Because they tried to serve it on him twice. Suffer Rekieta. He wouldn't even show up to the door. The police showed up to his door, and he's like, kids, hide! Hide in your trash piles! Red alert! Red alert! Yes, you have no probable cause! Go away! Sir, we're just here to serve this on you. No, go away! No! Yes, Nick had to go pick it up because they told him we tried serving you. Now you have to come to us. And what happened in this? Well, you got the notice of filing, and it says, you know, you are notified that an order was filed on this date, dated June 26th. And this is how Nick got served. What does that mean for Aaron? Well, this means for Aaron, he got this done ex parte, which means just, you know, he's like, well, I went to the court and he asked the court for this, and he filled out the paperwork. He didn't do anything else. The court just let him do it. And they took the bare minimum. Ex partes are not the hardest thing to get, but they only last for a little while because Nick has the right to a hearing. He has the right to challenge it. But he has an ex parte order granting the petitioner a harassment restraining order. So based upon the affidavit and Aaron coming in and talking to a magistrate or a judge, they found there are reasonable grounds to believe that Nick has engaged in harassment, which has or is intended to have a substantial or adverse effect on the safety or security of the privacy of the petitioner or the petitioner's minor children. And it says that he has been followed, monitored, or pursued, made uninvited visits to the petitioner, made harassing phone calls or harassing text messages, made threats, frightened the petitioner with threatening behavior, called him abusive names, and used social media to harass petitioner. It's like, brilliant job, Nick. Brilliant job. You guys then drove over to Stoney's after the hearing. After Aaron sentencing him, Patrick Melton. Nobody likes onions. And even Kayla went over there. And allegedly Kayla was all smiles. So like I said, chat, it's all performative bullshit with these lunatics and drug addicts. So it's ordered that Nick shall not harass the petitioner. Or Nick shall not harass Aaron. It's like pretty simple. You know, the relief requested is denied because the harassment's not directed at the minor children or person subject to guardianship. Nick is prohibited from being in within 1,000 feet of Aaron's house. They say any relief that's not requested above is denied. This order is in effect until June 26, 2026, which means it's a 1-year thing, unless changed by a later court order. The respondent can ask the court to change or vacate the restraining order by filing a request for hearing within 20 days of the date of service. Now, this is interesting. I did not know, like, this is not how it would work. Like in Ohio, you are automatically, the court sets a hearing date. You automatically get your hearing. You don't have to ask for one. The court automatically sets a hearing date on an ex parte order, which is something when I read this the first time, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sit well with me. They should automatically, like, if you're doing this, they should have the hearing that by law, it should automatically happen. If a hearing is scheduled, and Nick doesn't show up, which he has a habit of doing, chat, the habit of not showing up, the harassment order may be granted. Failure to appear will not be a defense of criminal charges for violation of this order. If you don't attend the hearing, the case may be dismissed. If Aaron doesn't attend, I mean, that makes sense. Right now, Nick can't talk about Aaron. But guess what, the smartest man in Spicer, Minnesota did? As he got this, I will give $1,000 for the first person to give me a video compilation of one public mention of me per day by any Imholte since April 11th, 2024. I disclaim and condemn any comments or chats to any Imholte on any social media platform. Does that include your comments and chats? Because you can talk about Aaron basically everywhere. I mean, you don't have any comments on your own channel because you don't stream, but when you go on with everybody else, you can't shut up about it. And I guess, Nick, I'll give you free advice because, I'm a fat whale. So Sean the Law Whale says, don't talk when there's a protection order. That's a free one for you, Nick. It's a free one. And yes, Nick has not actually paid this, apparently. Nick has not actually, somebody did pay for the bounty, or someone provided the bounty, and he still hasn't paid yet, which you're like, I mean, given Nick doesn't pay his bills, didn't pay his mortgage. Do you expect him to pay you guys? Like, kind of funny, I guess. Kind of funny and weird. This is Aaron's form. It's an order regarding the fee waiver. So he says that he wants to, they're pointing out the petition is involving the following: monitoring or pursuing someone through any technological means. And they say it's order that the petitioner's filing fee and others are waived. The petitioner should not be required to pay any fees in this case. Nick's filing fees are waived, which I don't think there should be fees if you're the respondent. If you're forced to respond to something, you should never have to pay fees for that. They say divorce, currently living together, live together. What's your relationship? Former friend. Aw. Yes, he should have called him an ex-lover. Yes. Yes. But how can they, as Michael Bolton said, chat, how can we be lovers if we can't be friends? They point out what Nick has done. He says he's shown up to businesses I work with to harass the ownership in hopes I will be there. I mean, that's true. He constantly threatens myself, hints at the fact I should have been killed on his ex account. Yeah, Nick said that at one point. And he talks about people being put in the dirt. It's like, have you ever even punched somebody? He says here, he's accessed my Google account without authorization, posted screenshots of my Google search history. It claims he shared my information with others. He's appeared on numerous YouTube channels, including his own and NLO, and encouraged people to report me to law enforcement, and has gathered people in public places to harass or intimidate me. Yeah. Yes, the brave libertarian now running to the government skirt. He made a message on me. He made a message to me on the signaling app telling me to kill myself because I refused to come over to his house and continue swinging with him. Now, it's funny. It's like the way it's swinging, and then it's like, with him. Is that Aaron's way of saying that? I don't know. It's very Aaron, you made this very vague, man. You should have included like star, I am not gay. But you didn't. So, and they say Nick continues to make threats publicly, continues others to harass me. And if I had reset my Google passwords, he would still have unauthorized access to my online activity. He's read my emails and then harassed the recipients of those emails. Yeah. Yep, the tables have turned, Nick. They've shown this is a pattern of attending public events, knowing that attending is harassing. He says, using Twitter and YouTube, I hate it's just X, to make veiled threats I should be for talking to the police about his cocaine arrest. Aaron says, I can't live a normal life, do my daily work without worrying if he's going to invent some new threat or make up some new charge I'm not responsible for. Ever since his arrest and my cooperation with police and his access to my account, I've been worried he could come to my house and cause trouble, especially among my children at home. Yes, and they say, do you believe the harassment will continue? Yes. Nick seems unhinged in regards to me and obsessed with inflicting whatever kind of punishment he feels I deserve. I do believe I do believe Nick could get physical at some point. But if the court denies my request and the court finds there's no immediate or present harassment, dangerous harassment, then I do not want a court hearing. And he says he wants 1 year, which is less than 2 years from today. That's very astute point. But Nick today, or actually on the 30th, jumps into the fray. And here he comes. Here he comes, screaming. You can hear the baldos, the war drums getting beat on with the baldos in the distance. So what do we have? We have a hearing set for July 15th at 3:30 p.m. in Stearns County. Now, this is interesting. You're expected to appear fully prepared. Any documents, photos, audio exhibits, or recordings you want an officer to consider at the hearing or trial called exhibits or evidence. Wow. I think, it's almost like Judge Counsel didn't, really? Apparently in Stearns County, everything put on the digital exhibit system is considered exhibits or evidence. Wow. I mean, we're going to call back to the whole body cam thing right now. Isn't that kind of interesting? It's almost like I put this in an email and sent it to a guy named Matthew Harden and Oliver Bromke for hey, guys, you might want to consider this. Yeah. Interesting. In Stearns County, they consider it. Huh. It must be submitted to the court before the hearing through the MNDES, unless an exception applies. And they say, and this is all sent. Okay, great. And who shows up again, chat? Frank White. Nick Savior from the court trial. And you're like, wait, he didn't save Nick. Well, you're right. He didn't. He literally helped Nick eat shit and wrote his name on it for some reason. But anyways, yes, Frank White is now coming in. And what do they do in the meantime? They wanted to remove the Honorable Ellen Moss from presiding on any further hearings. I don't know. I guess Nick's afraid to deal with the woman judge. I'm sure he's he told us, Frank, we got to get rid of the woman judge. If I go in there, I'm going to call her. If she doesn't do what I want, I'm going to call her fat. And Frank's like, yeah, we should probably fix that. Times are tough in Baldo land. I respectfully request the court to hold a hearing. I understand a harassment order issued by this court shall remain full force in effect until the date of the hearing. Did you really? Because you spent days and days and days of shitting all over Aaron. It's did you really understand that? So, yes, he spent a 4-hour stream on Aaron, yes. Yes, and I would argue he's violated it already. I'm surprised they haven't arrested him for it. But, maybe that's just going to be ammunition to make the hearing stick, which would be hilarious. Well, Aaron gets smart and hire a lawyer too, I presume. So he's got he's got his attorney that he's used for, his divorce. And then he's got, Todd Peterson. I'm sure he'll use one or the other or something. I don't know. I mean, who knows what he's going to do? Why not the current judge of his other cases? I know it's criminal versus civil. Well, because it's Aaron, but now there's another party, so it's not necessarily going to go to the same judge. No, it's in Stearns County. It's where Aaron lives. He filed it, so it's in Stearns County with different judges.